Well, hello, reader friends, and welcome back or welcome for the first time if you are new here. My name is Lori Beth, and welcome to my little corner of the internet where we get into all of the bookish small talk. So it has been a minute since I have done a little book haul video, and there is no better time to do this than now because it's an extra special book haul, if you will. I have some extra special items to show on camera today that I am so beyond excited about. You'll see. You shall see. But first and foremost, I have a couple of months worth of my subscription from my local indie bookstore that I picked up this weekend, and they are sight unseen. I don't know what the books are. I have not looked at them yet, so we're going to open them together on camera, and then at the end of the video, I am going to display some incredibly amazing books that I received also this past week that I again, am so beyond excited to share with all of you. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so you have heard me talk about my bookstore in Ann Arbor that my husband and I frequent quite often, but they also have their own book subscriptions at this store. And one of them is called the Insisto subscription. And this is books that are either from indie authors or indie publishers, and I signed up for this to kind of expand my horizons a little bit. So every book that I get from the subscription is a little bit different than something I would choose for myself. That's why I wanted this specific subscription in general. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been kind of bad at picking them up, and I have 3 months to show you guys on camera today. Again, they're sight unseen. I don't even know what the books are. I don't know what order they're in either, so I'm just gonna grab at random and open packages. We're gonna read what the book is about together and kind of experience this as we are going through it. One of the cool things about these is they usually give a little write-up of either the author or the publisher and what the book is about. So we'll kind of maybe do a synopsis on that as well. So let's go ahead and jump into our first package. Oh, that's a good sound, isn't it? And go in for book number 1. Ooh, this is very pretty. Very, very, very pretty. All right, so we have The Island by Antonia Kefala. Let's take a look at this book together. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. I love the colors. And kind of a tiny book. Fiction book. Most of these are fiction or works of fiction or some type of fiction. That's what this particular subscription is. So I'm going to take a little look-see at our hand-typed letter here. All right, this month, we're happy to feature our very first transit selection for The Insisto, The Island by Antonia Kefala. This book reads like an apparition, a plume of smoke coiling past you as you squint to find form in its dissipation. All right, I'm intrigued. It's a book very much about exile, uncertainty, and the liminal spaces between things. Kefala was born in Romania, but fled following the occupation of the Soviet Union, escaping first to Greece and eventually arriving in Australia, where she'd spent her career as a writer, publishing this book in 1984. Knowing her life experience enlivens some of what is unspoken in the text and gives further depth to what is already prose full of startling life and vividness. It's an elusive book, eager to wander and to question, to enchant you in its dreamlike nature. I was completely entranced. So then it does display a quote from the book and is signed Solidarity with Our Independent Presses. Press on. Brian from Literati Bookstore, Ann Arbor, Michigan. I love these. I think this is such an amazing aspect of this subscription. I've always been a big fan of subscription services, and I've had many over the last couple of years. This being part of an independent bookstore and one that also kind of supports independent writers and publishers, I think is just absolutely stellar and makes me very proud to be a part of. Also, they have like a ribbon, like an old ribbon typewriter, and he hand types all of these letters that go out to each member of the subscription service. So I just think, I don't know, I get really kind of sentimental and emotional over people that feel just as passionately as me about books and reading and what it really brings to us as people. So anyways, I digress. I am just going on a tangent now, but first book from our literati stack, The Island. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. Very intriguing. Little fever dream-esque, maybe. I kind of like that vibe. So I'm really kind of excited to read this one. All right, let's go in for book number 2 from Insisto book subscription. Oh, yeah, baby. It is a really good sound. Such a good sound. Beautiful. All right. That one was a little dusty. All right, let's see what we have in book number 2, A Carnival of Atrocities. Okay, by Natalia Garcia Freire. I am so sorry if I am not pronouncing that last name correctly, but another absolutely stunning book cover. Get a load of that. Green is the theme of today. All right, let's take a look at our letter, get kind of a synopsis of what this book is about. A disarming polyphonic tapestry of fear, superstition, and violence, the novel is set in the slowly decomposing, fictional Ecuadorian town of Cacuan. Again, apologies for any and all pronunciations going through this. Narrated in echoes and fragments by a chorus of 9 separate townspeople. Their story revolves around the figure of which the book opens, Mildred, a young woman who was dragged from her home following the death of her mother and disappearance of her father. Mildred's presence lurks specter-like over the main narrative thread of the novel, which largely takes place years later as its cast of characters reckon with the slow decay of their town and the townspeople who have vanished into the woods just beyond. It is a strange and fantastical tale, distorted and reflected through these contrasting voices like a funhouse mirror. Holy moly. Another book that sounds just incredibly gripping. Something that would almost be hard to put down. I love these books that kind of walk that line too of fiction and almost fantasy. They're not necessarily fantasy, but they give off that vibe of maybe you can't tell what's real and what's not real within the fictional world of the book. And again, the incredible cover of this would be enough for me to actually want to pick this up in the bookstore. So I think that's really cool too, because I think I would have seen this on the shelves walking by and been very intrigued by it. So that is also a really good sign. You know how I feel about a beautiful book cover. So book number 2 from our literati subscription, A Carnival of Atrocities. All right, we have one more Insisto package to open together. This one is actually... And I did these at random. I just kind of stacked them and brought them downstairs. But this one is the heaviest out of all the packages. So let's see what we have packed in here. Oh my gosh. Again with these covers, I honestly can't. And last but not least, we have Worthy of the Event, an essay by Vivian Blaxell. Blaxell. I'll let you guys decide. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And it has that beautiful, matte finish cover. You know what I mean? And it's a little more square. I think you have heard my thoughts and feelings on square books before, which I just find absolutely perfect. Why do we not have more square books? I just love them so much. I don't know what it is about them. Okay, let's get into the synopsis from our letter. Oh, okay, interesting. As a subscriber, you'll know that I primarily consider fiction books for Insisto, in part because it's the bulk of what I read and enjoy. But every so often, I stumble across a piece of creative nonfiction so attention-grabbing and singular that it's impossible to ignore, and such is the case with this month's selection, Worthy of the Event by Vivian Blaxell. Flip through and read any few pages of Blaxell's confident, electrifying prose, written with an undeniable urgency and disarming repetition as if to sound like someone speaking, and you'll be stunned to learn that this is somehow her first published book of original writing. Perhaps that's because she's been too busy living. Blaxall is an Australian trans woman who transitioned in the 1960s, and as the publisher notes, she has along the way at various points been a teenage runaway street kid, an orderly in a psych ward, a professor of Japanese imperialism, and a writer now drawing comparison to Eileen Myles and Gertrude Stein. Worthy of the event is a series of 7 interlocking essays that each rotate around a central question: how do we become ourselves? I feel like this was written in the stars because I have maybe stated once or twice that I really wanted this year to be the year of nonfiction for me. Has that come to fruition so far? No, it really hasn't. I'm not going to lie. I have not kind of kept up on that promise to myself, which for some reason when I read essay on the front, I was just assuming these were like fictional. I don't know. I just assumed it was fiction because also this is a fiction subscription. But I am here for this. And I have always really enjoyed anthologies and books of short stories. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoy an anthology. And honestly, reading Joan Didion's Slouching Towards Bethlehem was a book of like essays, and I really, really liked it. It came across very much like just reading thoughts and feelings and just a peek into someone or multiple people's lives. And that was what kind of kept me gripped in a nonfiction book. I think this will be, as far as nonfiction goes, kind of right up my alley. And I'm not going to lie, I think 3 months of books that are kind of nailing it for me, at least at first glance. I mean, you can't ask for much more. But I am going to take this moment to say, if something like this is available to you, either in your area or if you want to check this book subscription out, Literati does have a website and they do ship their subscriptions. So I'm going to link their website down below. So if you want to kind of peruse, they do have a few different options as far as subscriptions go too. So this is like the fiction one. But I think they just released a fantasy and sci-fi one, and I might have to dabble in that as well. We shall see. But anyways, I think they are absolutely phenomenal. If you can be a part of something like this, support your local indie bookstore, or if you want to support Literati, go ahead and check out that website link down below. I will make sure I put that in the description box. But okay, so that was all of our books from my subscription. That was kind of, I didn't mean to like leave so many unopened, but it was also kind of fun to open so many at one time. It was, like when you get more than one package in the mail on any given day, if you've gone on maybe a little online shopping spree, as I have been known to do when it comes to book buying. But anyways, now on to the extra special, extra exciting, phenomenal, brilliant, I don't know, I'm running out of words to use for this book haul. I have to give a huge shout out to CJ for basically just being an amazing human being. If you caught my video where I was doing my online shopping wish list for Waterstones, I added on there the Magnolia Parks books because I absolutely fell in love with the first book when I read it, but I absolutely detest the US covers to these books. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I like to look at book covers that bring me joy, like that I personally like, and those covers do not do it for me. However, the UK editions are absolutely stunning, so I put those on my Waterstones wish list. And I mentioned it again in a recent video because I was at the bookstore holding them. I wanted to read the second book. I've been kind of itching to do it, and I just haven't purchased anything from that wish list yet. And CJ, at the time of my Waterstones video, mentioned that she had a second set of the indie book covers, and that came out around the time of my birthday, and she was like, I want to send these to you as a birthday gift. And I was like, no, you can't. That is like way too kind. And then I mentioned it again, and she was like, I'm doing it. Let me know how I can get these to you. I'm sending you these books. And you guys, look at what she sent me. I cried. She doesn't know this for a fact, but I was chatting with her online when I opened up the box, and I shed a tear. And I could do it now on camera, and I'm not going to. At least me get all choked up. I am just quickly reminded sometimes that there are such incredible humans in this world. I think it's hard to see on a daily basis. And then someone like CJ will come in and be like, hey, there's good things in this world, and I'm one of them. And I cannot thank her enough for giving this gift to me in my life. So she had book 1 through 4, a second set of these indie book covers. And this is what she has absolutely blessed me with. If you are here in the US and you have been interested in the series, you know what the US book covers look like. They do not look like this. So that was book 1, Magnolia Parks. Get a load of book 2, the Daisy Hates story, the beginning of Daisy Hates story. And also let's peep that bookmark in there, because I started the book as fast as I could. I was finishing up my last book and I was like, I cannot wait. I am seriously chomping at the bit to read this book. I started it already. So book 2, Daisy Hates, and then we have book number 3. Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. Look at the detail on these covers. Like I absolutely can't. I can't get over how stunning these are. And then, sorry, before I get into even more, and book 4, Daisy Hates, The Great Undoing. There is one more book in this series. She said she only had 1 through 4. And I was like, girl, 1 through 4 of these books I would trade my soul for. That is more than I could have ever asked for. So now I might be on a mission to find book 5. But I am so beyond grateful to have these stunning, stunning books to add to my shelf. So thank you so much again, CJ. I know I've said it like 1,000 times. If there's ever a way that I can repay you, I will find a way to do it. But this is not all that she sent me. And I did get permission to do this. She asked me what some of my favorite colors were when she put her package together. And when I opened the box, one of the very first things I saw were these beautiful hand crocheted flowers. A bouquet, a whole bouquet of flowers. She even put a little $2 bill in there, like a little good luck. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even. Like, I feel like I'm just repeating myself now, but she is not only just one of the most amazing, kindest humans on this planet, she is so talented. Like, look at how cute these are. Handmade. And she was like, what are your favorite colors? And I was like, I kind of like yellow and purple. So she made this for me, and I cannot wait to display these here in the studio. She also included this adorable little, I don't know if it's like a little squid mushroom or just a mushroom or a squid. I don't know. I don't care. I love it. I love it so much. Look at how adorable this guy is. I can't. Like, how did I get this lucky? I'll never know. And I'm gonna, again, try to hold it together here. This is why I wanted to create a booktube channel. I know that there are so many people out there that feel just as passionately as I do about books and reading and what that brings to us in the world. And I was excited to connect with even just one person. There has been more than one person, and I am so lucky and grateful for that. But just one would make this entire journey worth it. And I know that I am just one channel in the sea of all the channels of all the amazing creators that are out there. But it means the world to me that any and all of you that are here are here. So thank you, not only to CJ, but to all of you for tuning in. And I know that was a very quick book haul, but it was a very exciting one for me to do. I wanted to show those stunning books on camera. Some of you probably already know what they look like. Some of you might already have them. If you do, let me know if you are a big fan of this series in a comment down below. But there might also be some of you that didn't know these covers existed. And if you are interested in this series, try to get your hands on them. They are so gorgeous. I promise you, you will not be sorry for hunting them down. And also so excited to show you my subscription books on camera and kind of do that together. because I didn't even know what they were, which is kind of the best part. So I would love to know if you belong to any subscription services, what they are there any good ones out there that maybe I haven't heard of that you think I should know about? Drop that in a comment down below. Or have you had any recent book hauls, any good books you've either purchased or have been gifted by family, friends? Let me know what those books are. I'm always looking for more to add to my TBR, because why not just make the TBR longer and longer? Not like it's already completely out of control. And of course, if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, because it always helps a girl out. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of my other upcoming videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. As always, it has been an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.